Hey guys, thank you for tuning to Slappy's Garage. We're going to go over one thing on this bike. It is complete now. I went up to Ohio, had a great time, but we're going to go into the primary cover. Now I got rid of this ugly potato looking thing that they came on the Ironheads, and I added this one from an Evo Sportster. Now this is the 86 to the 89 Evo Sportster cover. The newer ones won't work because of the bolt pattern unless you do heavy modifications. Everything I did can be bolt on if you want to do it yourself, so check it out now.
Now, I did not find much information about this swap online. I actually didn't find anything that was useful. So all I had to do is take this cover I had laying around from another swap meet and see if it fit. All the bolt holes looked like they'll line right up, but it didn't see one go on because of the shift shaft. I actually pushed the bushing outside the shift shaft because the Ironhead ones are too long, so I had to change out the shift shaft. And the studs that hold the mounting point for your mid-control, and the other stud that's just the alignment stud for your primary chain tensioner. But now, other than that, I was taking this apart and I realized that this clutch actuation mechanism is going to be completely different than the one that came on the Ironhead cover. Now, the one inside of it's not going to work with this one, and my clutch basket on the Ironhead is not going to work with this one. So I'm just seeing what I have to do to use this clutch cover. So I'm going to pull this transmission to get the shift shaft out and realize that I have to change out this main gear so I can use this style clutch arm. So now you're leaving me with tearing out my inner primary on the Ironhead just so I can get this cover to work. Now, upon doing this, I realized that actually this bolt pattern is pretty spot on, so I might be able to get the other style transmission in there. I have to take this main drive nut off, and this is going to be another issue later on, but you can watch me give it too many beans, and after I take this sprocket off, I drop my transmission. Don't do that. Be very gentle. Don't be a hack. I don't plan on using this transmission at this point anyway. I'm going to put the whole 4-speed out of the 1988 transmission. Again, as close I am with the same bolt pattern, it seems that it doesn't want to go in. So I'm just checking the gears and going back into it. But you can see this main drive is not going to fit through the seal on the Ironhead cases. So I'm going to take this main shaft off the 86 and swap it with the Ironhead Sportster 1. I actually used the whole gear set minus the main trapdoor gear, the one that's closest to the gear. I think that is first gear or fourth gear. I can get back to you with that information, but I put this main shaft down in there, make sure everything shifts when it's free. And after I can check that they're all free, ready to go, we're going to throw this into the bike. Now, this thing drops right in, fits like a glove, and it does shift once I get everything tightened down. But I'm missing one part of this aspect is checking your end play on your main shaft. So you should have a certain tolerance. And I checked this when I even repacked the bearing. And I did this like 2 or 3 times to get it right. I don't have any videos, so sorry about that. But you put the retainer back in, put a new seal on, and we're getting into what I did to make this primary look even better. Now, all the necessary parts were just main shaft and all that, and we're just going to clean this up. I sanded it all down with the 360 grit, and now I'm taking a buffing wheel and cleaning that derby cover. I think that's going to give it a great aesthetic, especially when I do paint it. So I'm just cleaning up all the polish and some tape to protect all the areas I don't want paint, which like where your derby cover is on the more modern Sportsters, that will be polished aluminum with a black outline around everything else. Now I'm using this VHT paint. I think it's VHT. It's a flat black. I do bake it, but I was not crazy about this paint. It seemed pretty weak, but actually got harder over time and the longer it sat. Now for the primary, the front sprocket is the Ironhead. They're the same teeth, and the rear is the 88 Sportster clutch. Now I put this clutch on. Primary chain could be out of either bike, whatever's in better condition. Same chain tensioner. I think it's almost the same nut that goes into where your compensator would be on the big twins, your front sprocket, and the rear. All you have is a retainer clip. As you can see, I'm also adding the studs at this point so I can have my cover sit in the perfect place and still have a primary chain sensor because, well, that's pretty necessary on these bikes is having a tight primary chain or inspect primary chain. Now, since I replaced the trapdoor, all I'm doing is putting the factory clutch ramp system into this primary cover. Nothing needs to be modified. Furthermore, everything was pretty much bolt on, shim out, and figure it out to make it fit. But it all seemed to work. I probably put that transmission in 8 or 9 times to get everything right, going through it, seeing what's wrong, and the biggest challenge was the end play and what I was not expecting to fix. I also added a new throwout bearing, so it makes the clutch nice and smooth, and then also take the stud I usually put in first and reverse it out because the head gets mashed and you can destroy the threads if you try to do it after. Now I'm finally just putting the cover on and lining everything up, and I'm super excited to see this final product on the bike. And excuse me for my missed clips, I'm just horrible at my camera angle placement. So here it is, it's all together. I'm just tightening bolts, adding Loctite and torquing them down with the Ooga Doogas, and you can see the final product. Now check it out more when I get my next video of the bike all together, but you can really see that brings that side view all together.
Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate all of you guys and everyone who likes, subscribes, shares, whatever you want to do. All that just makes me want to do more and more and push myself to build cooler and cooler bikes. I'm ecstatic how this came up. I'll be going through the rest of the bike of the modifications I did in the next video. But here it is. You get a sneak peek of the finished product.